Hello, and welcome to this week's retrospective of my Human in the Loop series. This week, we migrated Digitising Events to Webflow, not for better templates, but for better performance and better creative storytelling on the page. And along the way, I validated something that's important about platform expertise. So we moved the entire site from Wix to Webflow, and here's what's interesting. I used AI and the MCP Model Context Protocol connection to Webflow to build it. But more than that, I also used it to automate the entire migration itself. So one person, AI assistance, the entire site moved and rebuilt. 3 days that took me. And that gets me to the bigger realization. It somewhat negates your need to be a platform expert. Think about that for a second. I'm not a Webflow specialist. I don't need to be. The AI knows the platform. I know what I want to achieve. And that, in effect, is the interface. For the companies that I used to consult with, like small businesses, that's now the way of interfacing with websites. And it changes how marketers can operate inside small businesses. Most marketers or audience acquisition specialists that I work with in these kinds of businesses, they knew they needed to create dedicated landing pages. They knew that, but the resources weren't there to do it. And if they were, took too long. And that barrier has effectively just disappeared, hasn't it? So you can now see how that can really help the performance of audience acquisition. So in my view, the traditional model of learn the platform deeply, become an expert, leverage that expertise, that model is breaking. You don't need to be the platform expert anymore. You need to be clear about the outcomes. The AI handles the technical translation. And that gets me to the human in the loop methodology evolution, what I call the AI triangle thinking. How do you structure this working relationship? So it's not just AI does stuff for you. It's about interfacing differently. I'm now so convinced of that. The skill shifts from how do I use Webflow to what do I want this site to achieve? To help me, I also enrolled in a course to better understand how AI is applied to video storytelling. This ties to the content production side. How do we make this methodology work for visual narrative, not just text? Early days, but the patterns do feel consistent. So what broke? Nothing major, but the realization that I need to double down now on creating content for Human in the Loop. Now that the migration is complete, I've been building infrastructure, which is necessary, I suppose. But the mission requires demonstration, not just systems. And the risk is getting caught in building this stuff and forgetting to share what this methodology unlocks. So content production priority is the next thing. Infrastructure work is largely done. Time to create now. And the retrospectives continue, but I need more mini learnings, more platform explorations, and more real demonstrations of the human in the loop in action. The Webflow migration itself is a human in the loop story, and I need to kind of show that a little bit. One person, AI-augmented, professional outcome, but it needs to be told, not just done. Next week's priority, obviously, creation of potential human loop content stream, and I've got one working already. And test this assertion that if, as an audience acquisition person, I can interface with my website, what does that unlock in terms of like user journeys and being able to just bring them to life? So just in summary, I think this platform expertise barrier, it's dissolving. It's not gone, but it's dissolving. It does change who can build digital infrastructure and how you execute it at scale. And the limiting factor shifts from technical knowledge to clarity of outcome. And that is exactly where human intelligence matters most. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for bearing with me while I've shifted stuff. And I promise there is more content coming. And thank you for your comments. I will follow up on those leads. Thanks very much for watching.